Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
It's actually a sound that will change your hearing forever.
Wait, no, I don't want to hear it.
First, I want you to listen to this. Tell me what you hear.
Okay.
What do you hear?
Alien, like,
Just like robots, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play you another sound, and once I play you this sound, it's straight up gonna change you forever.
Okay.
Ready?
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you heard that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna replay the other sound.
Okay.
And tell me what you hear.
It was a sunny day and the children were going to the park.
You hear the voice now!
I hear it.
And you hear it.
I hear it. I
and,
still hear
and
it.
you can never not hear it anymore. That was the original audio.
Oh, that was the. Are you
That's the-
sure?
that's-
though?
So what this does, it changes your brain because it gave you more information. And now you're subconsciously listening. This is where it gets scary.
Okay.
Because that's exactly what's being played to us every single day.
What do you
With
mean?
music, with news, with media, we're subconsciously being taught different things, waiting to hear an outcome that we already know. So we're not really in control anymore. And it's very subconscious.
Time to expose it. One of the biggest reasons why the polytricksters have been pushing for these mass abductions is because they are wholly invested in major private corporations that own or operate ICE detention centers. Every time a person is abducted and put into their facility, they're getting that cheese. A company called Core Civic. Their stock is going up like you wouldn't believe. They're raising capital by selling shares off of human flesh and blood people, men and women and children that have been stolen from their homes. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So how does the president and these polytricksters make money? They make money because they buy the shares of these private detention centers that they're abducting people and sending them to so that the share price goes up. So now do you see the sense of urgency to abduct people and put them in these centers?
Hey guys, another quick video here. Good morning. Today's date is January 27, 2025. Now, this is basically about the, let's just say the economy on a global scale. Now, gold is, the central bank have just moved over 5,000 pounds of gold. This is not good, folks. They're moving gold. The silver price is out of control. And, people are also, I've read a few articles where people are saying that they're getting their credit card. Basically, their credit cards are being cut. They have no access to usage of their credit card. Something is coming, guys. And I'm going to give you guys a little blueprint here. And once again, guys, I'm not here to spread fear. This is not about that. I'm doing this because I'm concerned. I'm looking out for your best interest because I really do care. Now, I want you guys to basically don't put all your money in one basket. If you have a major bank, for example, major banks are Bank of America, TD Bank, Chase, those type of bank. If you have money in those type of bank, don't take it out. I'm not asking you to take out your money. I'm letting you diverse your money. Take some of it or 50 to 60% of it and put it into a small bank, a small community bank, a credit union, simply because they're not exposed to derivatives. What's going to crash this market is going to be the bond market. Derivatives, for example, are basically a bunch of bonds, treasury bonds like mortgages, car notes, credit card bills, and so forth. They put them together and they create derivatives. When these derivatives crash, a lot of people are not going to have access to their money. And the only banks that are actually exposed to derivatives are the major banks. That's why I'm telling people, get a second account with a smaller bank, a community bank, or a credit union, okay? Just in case, which is going to happen, you have no access to your money in the major bank, you can actually access the money in your smaller bank account. Food for thought, folks. Once again, I'm not here to spread fear. I'm just looking out for you, folks. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for sharing my video. I love each and every one of you. Stay blessed, folks. Ciao.
Y'all, why does it sound like?
Is she experiencing a glitch?
My camera is hacked. Who's there? Why can I hear myself?
Why does it sound like there's an animal on the other side of her ring?
What the?
I'm fucking coming! Get to my fucking chopper!
Has her Ring doorbell camera been hacked?
What the fuck is this? Oh, bro, what is this?
Hey, Peter!
Who is this? Who are you?
Who are you, mate? You called me.
I didn't call anybody.
You called my number just now.
No, this is a Ring camera. This is a Ring camera on my...
I'm getting a call from America.
I'm not calling you. This is a Ring.
Yeah, you ringed me, mate.
How could I...
You just said you ringed me.
No.
You just said you ringed
No,
me, mate.
no, I open my door and you're on my Ring. I hear voices on my Ring when I open my front door.
Well, I'm gonna hang up the call here, mate. I don't know why you called me, but please don't call back.
Was this a glitch? Who can explain this? Unanswered Universe. Leave your thoughts below.
I go by the name of Alien. Not because I think I'm better than anyone, not because I think I'm chosen, but because I never fully accepted the lie that this world tried to sell me. And here's the lie. That we are enemies. White versus black, black versus Latino, Latino versus immigrant, Christian versus Muslim, straight versus gay, man versus woman, poor versus rich, straight versus gay, red versus blue. That lie is the oldest trick ever pulled on humanity, and most people are still trapped inside of it. The real enemy was never each other. It was always the systems that trained us to fight each other while they fed on all of us. The world is not divided by race. It's divided by power. Race was the tool. Religion was the tool. Borders were the tool. Fear was the tool. The goal was always control, and it worked. It worked so well that people will defend the very systems that are crushing them. You're told to blame immigrants for low wages, not corporations. You're told to blame poor people for crime, not inequality. You're told to blame different cultures, not a system that profits from instability. And while we're busy arguing about skin tone, pronouns, flags, and history, they are stealing our time, our labor, our resources, our health, our peace, and our future. All of us, black, brown, white, Asian, Latino, Middle Eastern, Indigenous, Pacific Islander, all of us are being fucked, just in different ways. Some get the boot on their neck, some get the boot on their wallet, some get the boot on their mind, some get the boot wrapped in comfort so they don't feel it yet, but it's the same boot. The root cause of everything wrong on this planet is simple and ugly. A small group of people benefit from a world where most people are exhausted, divided, afraid, and dependent. That's it. Pure demonic power protecting itself. And here's the part that changes everything. They don't survive without us. Not one factory runs without workers. Not one system functions without participation. Not one empire survives without consent, even silent consent. We are not weak. We're just separated. My vision is not chaos. My vision is clarity. Humans realizing I have more in common with the person struggling across the world than I do with the people exploiting both of us. My vision is people waking up and saying, I'm done fighting my neighbor for crumbs while someone else owns the bakery.
We are live walking through the Matrix. This is all a simulation. As you can see, the psychological operations are psyoping right now. You have Greenland, you have Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and then they just shot that man dead in the street. There's this term called honeycombing that people who were chosen for a specific mission here on Earth From the time you were a baby, you had these very traumatic experiences followed by experiences of love. It would go back and forth where you might have saw your parents get abused or you might have been abused, followed by love. So you had this back and forth, and it shattered your conscience into a million pieces where you don't trust anybody and you're paranoid. And this is what I see happening with social media and the internet and these psyops. They're throwing so many timelines at us that it's keeping us from self. But I always have to remember that we created this game. We created the Agent Smiths. We've already won. It's just, I told y'all this was going to be the best year of our incarnation, but for some people it's going to be very difficult, and they're in for a very rude awakening because the psyops are only going to get stronger, and they're just going to try to keep sucking us in. So we got to stay the course, guys. You know how this works, man. They know it's like ratings on a television show where they keep just throwing things at us. Try this, try that. Let's see if we can get their energy harvested this way. You got to stay the course.
All the cryptids, the one that I think could be real is the Jersey Devil, because there have been thousands of reports that have been well documented. I mean, the Jersey Devil has been seen since the 1700s. And these stories and these reports were published in so many newspaper articles. And still to this day, you ask the people near the Pine Barrens, they will tell you the Jersey Devil is real. Now, this is a story from 1998. There was this woman named Deborah. And Deborah said that she was young. She had this boyfriend. They had fell into rough times. So they had a friend who owned some land next to the Pine Barrens. And they let them park their RV there and live in it. And she said from time to time, living out in the woods, you would hear weird sounds or you would see animals. But for the most part, it wasn't that bad. She said then one night she had let her dogs out. And all of a sudden she hears her dogs outside barking at something, like they had smelled the scent of something. So she goes outside of the RV and she's yelling to her dogs, come here, where are you? And she said she could see her two dogs in front of her, but she sees up in the sky this black shadowy figure just come down, take her dog and pick it up and carry it off into the air. And at the time, she said she thought it was an owl or a large bird or something. So she's freaking out. She's screaming her dog's name. She gets the other dog, puts it in the RV. She calls for her boyfriend, and they go out in the woods and they're looking for this dog. They cannot find it anywhere. The next day, they go back out into the woods to look for this dog. They notice this one tree. There's red stuff running down it. Well, they look up in the tree, and there is the dog. And it has been ripped apart into two pieces, and it's hanging from the tree. They said this was a German Shepherd. It was, 98 pounds. So whatever it was had to be very big that carried this thing off, right? So after that, she was very cautious with leaving the dogs out at night. She didn't like to be outside at night. And she said a few nights she would, come home later at night and she was bringing some groceries in. And she would hear strange sounds like screams coming from the woods, and she would hurry up and run inside the RV. But she said the creepiest encounter with this thing was one night her and her boyfriend are asleep in the RV. And she said she had this very vivid dream. And she said standing in her bedroom there was this tall creature that had the legs of a horse, had sort of the face kind of a man, had these big long horns protruding from its head, had these sharp teeth, had red eyes. And this thing just looked at her and said, "Hello, Deborah." And she said right as it said, "Hello, Deborah," she woke up. Well, when she wakes up, she thinks oh, it was just a bad nightmare. Well, she hears what sounds like something moving on top of the RV. She wakes her boyfriend up and she's like, "There's something on top of the RV." And they could hear what sounded like footsteps, but if it was a horse kind of trotting on top of this RV. And she said all of a sudden they heard this unhumanly scream. And then, boom, whatever this was, it sort of flew off. The next day, she said she went on top of the RV with a ladder, and she looked up on the top of the RV and could see what looked like dirt impressions of hoof prints. So several months pass, and they kept having these weird encounters. And she said this night something just didn't feel right. And she said that her and her boyfriend were watching TV in the RV when all of a sudden something just hits the side of the RV. And she said it was so hard that stuff actually fell off the shelf. And she said then they started hearing these loud screams, and there was something outside of the RV, and it was kind of, flying around like low that they could see it out the window. So her boyfriend jumps in the driver's seat, starts it up, and starts driving away. And they said as they were driving, they hear a loud smashing sound on the top of the RV, like this thing was trying to get in the top of, the RV. So her boyfriend just pushed on the gas pedal and went as fast as he can. And he said after about 5 miles, whatever this was, left. And they managed to go to a friend's house. And when they get out, they could tell something was sort of had thrashed the outside of the RV because it was badly damaged. And Debbie said she would never go back to the Pine Barrens again.
Yeah, they came to Ben Affleck and they said, your wife's on these tapes. So that's something I can confirm to be fact. He said, I asked my partner for an Advil. He handed me the Advil. I woke up 22 days later.
What?
Was the person who poisoned them and put them in the coma.
What?
Memorabilia from these escapades.
Let me ask you a question. If you can recall, what was the worst thing or the most off-color thing that you saw happen at any one of these events?
Okay. So now when it comes to his events, the most off-color thing I saw was 1 second he's in a suit, next second he's in a towel, and he's holding hands.
The fuck did he?
With 2 Eastern European gentlemen, and
when you say he, that's Diddy. You mean Diddy? Okay.
And I knew, I said, all right, now I know what this is. I see what's going on here. It's time for us to exit.
Wow.
I had a famous singer tell me one day that he prefers trans ladies because they have stronger hands and stronger jaw muscles.
Now, who told you that?
He's a singer. His name's Bobby Valentino.
Bobby Valentino. Unbelievable.
Bro, what?
If you woke up in the Matrix, I just want to say congratulations. You passed one of the biggest tests. But when you wake up, it's certain things you should know about. You will become a chosen one or the black sheep of your family. They might start talking about you, or sometimes you start to question yourself, like, is spirituality really for me? When you wake up in the Matrix, it's one of the hardest things to do, because once you wake up, everything around you try to steal your energy. Don't let people say you're crazy. Don't let people try to convince you that you lost your mind. You're not the crazy one. They are. Someone asks me about spirituality, I always tell them it's a thin line between spiritual and going crazy. You might start seeing some things that other people can't see. 1111, 222, 333, 444. You see it as a message. People that still sleep see it as just numbers. There's nothing wrong with being a chosen person. You could be walking down the street and see a portal, but other people don't see nothing. We understand what timelines really mean. Every time a holiday come around, we understand that it's a system to steal your energy. But other people buy gifts, they celebrate it, they say, hey, it's the holiday season. The spiritual people know that the real seasoning is getting with the right people and creating a masterpiece. Real spiritual ingredients. The wisdom, the knowledge, frequencies, vibrations. We're trying to reach your higher self. Never look at your hardships like it was a failure. No, it was leading you to a higher purpose. We need everything to make the perfect seasoning. Once you tap into your higher self, you will know that there is no such thing as accidents or mistakes in the Matrix. So if you woke up and became a chosen one, it was no accident or no mistake. a higher calling is waiting for you. Don't let them call you crazy. If your family and friends can no longer understand why you chose the path you chose, it's not for them to understand. When the wrong people push you away, the right people gonna say, come on in. You're a chosen one. Welcome to the tribe. Never feel bad for being a chosen one. The universe called you and you picked the phone up. So now it's your job to help other chosen ones remember their path. Never feel lonely on your spiritual path, because the universe usually only picks one person out of a family to be a chosen one. This is one of the reasons why I made my original Chosen One merchandise. People don't understand your spiritual path. Just let your energy match your clothes. We live in a really dark world, but if you're a chosen one, we see through all this shit. You can't lie to a chosen one. You can't blackmail a chosen one. I made this merchandise so chosen ones don't have to hide their true identity. Check out the merchandise. The link is in the bio.
I do the same people always show up early, but yet everyone else always shows up late and confused. It's because they always get the signal, and I showed y'all the signal.
And all I'm gonna say is this Super Bowl, if you see the commercial, you might become a millionaire.
Y'all notice what he said? He didn't say a challenge. He didn't say a giveaway. He didn't say a link. All he said is that you need to watch the Super Bowl and you're going to become a millionaire. This is all about timing. And right after this, I showed y'all the leaked article that showed the exact launch date of this Mr. Beast coin. And it's predicted to hit 74 cents by February 21st. Mr. Beast has a huge announcement to make the day of the Super Bowl. Are you guys paying attention? Are you guys going to be watching? This coin BFS came out around the same time that Mr. Beast made that announcement. Y'all, there is no coincidence, because ever since I put this coin out, this thing has been going crazy. It's even trending on TikTok because people are looking for it before the Super Bowl day. Over 70,000 holders and growing. I showed y'all that Mr. Beast was on the front page of the Yahoo Financing. He even filed a trademark for the Beast financial system that he's about to drop. This is not financial advice, and I am not here to convince you, but I am a living testament to show you how fast this crypto world can change my life. Once again, this is not financial advice, but you got about 12 days. I suggest you get a Fanta wallet, you search up the BFS coin, check the contract address. It'll be pinned in the comments below, because there's a lot of fake ones out there. The contract address will be pinned in the comments. And then invest whatever you're willing to invest in, and then ride the wave, because when the Super Bowl comes, y'all, this thing is going to pump like crazy. It's already viral on TikTok. But yes, y'all, let's catch this wave. Peace in.
I spoke about emotions yesterday because that is the one tool that they're using to control all of us. And there's nothing logical going on. And again, there's no such thing as a Democrat or Republican. They're both wings of the same shit bird. When it's convenient for the Republicans, they'll cite the Constitution and your Second Amendment rights. But then when it's time for them to push ICE onto you, they don't want you to exercise your Second Amendment rights or read up on the Constitution. And you know, it's funny because when we think back of like Nazi Germany and what the Nazi officers and all the atrocities that they carried out, we look back on it and we ask ourselves, like, man, how did people let that happen? Like, how did these cohort officers carry out all these heinous acts and, you know, not have any morals or values? My people, it's the same playbook being ran right now. And now let's be honest, these ICE officers, they're not retired American military. They're not even American police officers. Most of them, it's been proven that they're IDF soldiers mixed in with a bunch of incompetent wannabe patriots that have zero training for the job they're doing, but it's feeding their ego. I mean, they're given a badge, a gun, and power. And you think morals and values are going to come into the thought process? And the funny part is that they think that they're doing the right thing too. They feel like they're on the right team, like they're on the right side of history, not realizing they're nothing more than pawns in a rich man's war games. The puppeteers don't give a fuck about you or me or the ICE officers. Okay? And again, you can't label me a Democrat or a Republican because I'm just an independent man who thinks for himself. And let's be honest, ICE is not out here getting rid of illegal aliens. That's just the premise they use to tug on the MAGA hearts and get the support. The plan continues, my people, and it continues to be rolled out in phases. We're heading towards a new world order where all cities will be militarized and policed, digital ID all over the place, and total control is coming. All of the events happening are all orchestrated to get the masses in line. And this is why I stressed yesterday, you have to stop allowing your emotions to be your thought-driving force and start using your logic. Start seeing the bigger picture. Start seeing what they're building. Don't give in to what they're expecting you to give in to. Be smart. And Tribe, you know the goal is always the same. Leave people better than we found them. We have to use our brain and our logic to be able to see what they're orchestrating behind the veil. You got to be able to see the bigger picture. If not, you're just going to be emotionally rattled, and every event is just going to get you mad until you do something stupid. Don't be stupid. Be smart. Tribe, I love you. I hope you're having an amazing week. Touch back tomorrow. Namaste.
So it looks like TikTok is dead, with millions of users deleting the app right now, and removals are up to 150%. What is going on? Now, there was a new US merger, and one of the guys involved was this guy, one of the richest guys on earth, Larry Ellison, who made $100 billion in one day last year. Yeah, that guy, who I like to call one of the most dangerous but silent billionaires on earth, because nobody really talks about this guy. And most people don't know that his son owns Skydance, which owns Paramount. He owns Oracle and now TikTok, so all bases are covered. Now, there's two reasons why people are deleting the app. For one, the new terms of service are completely off the rails. And yes, we've seen some crazy terms of service with all these apps. They're all tracking us. We know this, but let's take a look at this one. So the new TOS states that they can track your citizenship, your immigration status, your religious beliefs, your mental health and physical health diagnosis, your race, if you're trans or binary, your sexual preference and orientation. This screams FBI, CIA tracking device. But it doesn't stop there, because the second thing is the censorship, which is completely out of control because you can't say the word Epstein, like ever. And yes, there's screenshots all over the internet right now where people cannot say the word Epstein or even DM the word Epstein. I mean, isn't it funny that they only released less than 1% of the Epstein files, and now this merger comes, and now we can't even say Epstein? Very interesting. Not to mention, when you mention Larry Ellison himself, they'll freeze your video, and there's screenshots all over the internet verifying this. And even TikTok now is launching an investigation on why you can't mention Epstein. Yeah, let's go ahead and investigate ourselves. You guys, this is worse than communist China, because they own the app before them, and people are even saying they gotta sell TikTok back to China, bro. What the fuck is this? Now, as a result of all this, the alternative everybody's going to is Upscroll, which is now #1 in the App Store and #2 globally. You could definitely find me there, because after that Epstein shit, I'm out. And not to mention, they just deleted my 6th TikTok account. So, final straw. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach. I'm gonna do a deeper dive, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
I used to think the people that thought the earth was flat was crazy, till I started thinking back on science class when they was teaching this shit. They told us the earth was tilted sideways and spinning 1,000 miles per hour. Matter of fact, look, here go the stats right here. So you telling me this shit spinning 1,000 miles per hour, we don't feel it? But you laughing at a nigga for saying this shit flat. So we on 1,000 mile per hour spinning motherfucking ball in the middle of the space, tilted sideways. Then look at the stats again. I'm gonna pull this shit back up. It's rotating at 1,000 miles per hour at the core, and in other places it ain't rotating that much, or close to the equator, whatever. If the earth is connected, how the fuck can one part of the earth be going 1,000 miles per hour and another part not be spinning at all? That's like saying my fucking 2 front tires going 100 miles per hour, my back tires going 5. They just be saying anything. I think they be playing to see what they can get away with. Ain't no way in the fuck people believe in this shit. Then look, I just look some more shit up, because that shit done got my head fucked up. It say military jet go 1,500 miles per hour. So you telling me this shit spinning damn near fast as a motherfucking military jet, but we don't feel nothing. And it's tilted sideways, but we standing straight up. Come the fuck on. I don't give a fuck about no scientific explanation. Come the fuck on. I got common sense. I ain't going for no shit like that. But you know what I realized about the world though? People will believe anything as long as it looks typed up and printed by a professional company, and the motherfucker who's saying it is talking proper. That's all. And the last thing is, a lot of people got to believe it too. That's what I really didn't realize. Like, a lot of these motherfuckers' brains don't really work for real. I'm starting to wonder who fucking real out here. Who the real motherfucking people? Cause these niggas gotta be AI.
Martin, I found a new conspiracy theory that really excites me and gets me going.
Conspiracy theory. All right.
Martin,
Hit me with your best shot.
how many people are on Earth?
Ooh, I don't remember that number.
I thought it was 40 billion.
Oh, it was at 6 billion or something. Is that what?
I thought it was 40 billion.
40 billion people?
I think the number's somewhere around 7. 9 billion?
9 billion?
Hunter knows. Good. I ain't checked in a minute.
Why much is it, Hunter? 9 billion? Where
Did you look it up or did you know
Where
that?
did this kid come up with 40 billion?
It was
I think I'm looking into the future.
It was 8 billion not long ago.
8.3 billion people is the estimate.
It's that 8.3 billion. Well, see, I'm looking in the future.
I'm out on that.
It's 40 billion.
There ain't that many people here.
It's 40 billion.
The world
in the future, it's going to be 40 billion.
It's a small world.
After all.
Oh, that's true.
There's not that many people. That's the new conspiracy. They're like, oh, there's a million people in that city. No, they're not.
I'm looking.
They're just inflating the numbers.
Hey,
so